children get treated a little bit differently. So that's a conflict. So Ms. Sessoms, why are you telling us all of this about this character on this book? Well, you're going to go on this website when you get home, www.mysuccessability.blogspot.com, and you're going to help Clifton resolve these issues. You're going to talk to one another on the blog site. You're going to talk to students from all over and respond to their answers about how, and their situation about how Clifton can become a little more organized and try to help resolve some of the conflicts. So enough about Clifton, because when you go on the blog site, his whole story is laid out, and you can respond and help. And parents can go on too, because parents have, believe it or not, have a lot of wisdom, and they have a lot of things that they can share with us to help us along the way. Okay? So let me just scoot over here, and we're going to get started. Just keep in mind, and that website address is in your packet, so you don't have to worry about writing it down. It's in your packet, and you can go home and get on the blog site and just help Clifton resolve all of these issues. Then you'll be good. Okay. Now, as I said, Successability is not about, I'm not here today to sell books, although if you want to buy one, I certainly have it here. But I'm here today to share with you what's in the book. Because if you listen and you pay attention and you get involved in the discussion, I may not say anything that you haven't heard before, but I hope I can put it in context and hope you understand what it is we need as far as education is concerned. Now, our education system has changed over the years. I have only been in the education system for 10 years as a high school counselor. However, I came from a social work background. My first career was social work. So I understand people, first of all, and I understand how to deal with situations and how to resolve problems and issues. So the nuts and bolts part of this presentation is primarily to help parents to understand, first of all, that sometimes changing with the times is good, but sometimes we have to get back to basics, so to speak. And we realize that in the past, our families gathered together at the dinner table and we talked about things. We ironed things out. That's why Clifton's going to talk to his father at the dinner table, because they still eat dinner together. How many of us eat dinner with our parents? Let's keep some hands. Very good. Because that's where a lot of issues are resolved. That's how parents get to know what's going on with their kids around the dinner table. A lot of good things happen around the dinner table. So, this book is about, and this presentation is about, gathering the family back around the dinner table to have discussions about anything. You should be able to talk to your parents about anything. Your parents should be able to know what's going on with you without having to hear it from another student or a teacher. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. When I first started thinking about writing Successability, I thought, now I'm old. Now, how am I going to write a book that young people will, first of all, pick up to read? Because we know reading is now in competition with Facebook and iPods and cell phones and all of this technology. So I was thinking, now what can I do to make it interesting enough for them to pick it up? I went to Mr. Zitz. Zitz cartoons are wonderful. I follow them weekly. I didn't know that Zitz had a following, but he does. Zitz is your typical teenage student. He gets into everything you can imagine. And in this cartoon, if you'll see, his mom is trying to get him up to go to school. How many of you get up on time to go to school on your own? Very good. Well, his name is Jeremy doesn't. So his mom gets him up, and he kind of leans on the table, and she's shoveling food down his throat because she doesn't want him to be late for school. She's hurrying him out of the door. He's dropping books, and he's still. Jeremy looks a lot like my student. And she pushes him out of the door. She drives him to school, and she pushes him out of the car. And what does Jeremy say? He says, I think what I enjoy most about high school is independence. And his friend says, who doesn't? Well, goodness gracious, he is the most dependent student ever, because he does nothing for himself. His mother had to get him out of bed, feed him, and Jeremy is 16, he's driving, checking his homework, he's dropping books, then she shoves him out of the car, and he's talking about being independent. Well, that's just a misnomer. But relax. I want everyone to relax. This journey will be refreshing. As I said, I may not say anything that you've never heard before, but I hope to put it in context so that you can use the information to help somebody. Maybe even you're somebody. Wrong way, Ms. Sessoms. Okay. In the beginning of the book, this page is sitting there, and you may wonder why. And by the way, I'm going to give away a couple of books today. Yes, I am. I felt that because we're in such great competition with technology, I understand that students don't often enough pick up reading material, and that's any reading material. So the first part of the book talks about it gives them ownership. They have to put their name here, and then it asks very interesting information that you think, well, they know this. Why would you need to put that in the book? Well, I did that because in talking to students, of course they know the name of their school. The mascot is really not even important. But the information, these next two pieces of information is very important. Your counselor. Now, I'm a school counselor, and I know that students do not come to me often enough to get the information that I know. I have a lot of information up here, and sometimes students, particularly freshmen, for reasons of intimidation or for reasons that they just don't understand that they don't come to the guidance office. And I can tell you the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So I'm giving you some little gems of information. How many high school students do I have in here today? Oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Now, I need a volunteer. I need someone that's going to be quick. Come right up, young man. I love it when students volunteer and I don't have to call anyone out. And what is your name? Oh, let me tell you something about Ms. Sessoms too. Ms. Sessoms went to the audiologist yesterday and was told that she has a hearing loss. So guess what? I have a disability, and I didn't even know it. Well, I kind of knew it, but I have a disability. So you're Zachary. Zachary, if you would, into this microphone, because I have a feeling that you have a soft voice, right? But you're going to get some bass in that voice a little later, right? Tell me, Zachary, something that you could go to the guidance counselor's office for besides a schedule. You were involved in a fight. Very good. Tell me one other thing that you could go to the guidance office for besides a fight and getting your schedule changed. Ooh, okay, Zachary. Hold on a second. For your cooperation, you get a copy of my book. Let's give Zachary a hand. Okay. Now, Zachary said you can go to the guidance office if you have fights and to get a schedule and nothing else really. Well, that's not quite the right answer, but I brought that out because a lot of students, particularly 8th graders and 9th graders, had no idea what a guidance counselor does. And I'm not here to promote what guidance counselors do. I'm just telling you that the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And if you go to the guidance counselor's office with questions and the things that you need to know is in the book, we will stop what we're doing. I don't mean come in and interrupt, make an appointment certainly, but we will stop what we're doing and we will answer your questions. So now we have to realize what kind of questions should I be asking? That's a good question. You should be asking, what is a grade point average? I've heard this GPA, I've heard this term thrown around, and class rank, and I don't know what that means. But I came to realize nobody's going to ask that question because they don't want to appear as if they don't know. And they're certainly not going to ask their peers because they don't know either. So your counselor can answer all kinds of questions. Your counselor can tell you how the school runs, what kind of courses are offered. They can talk about career pathways. They can talk about colleges. So much information in the guidance office. So it would behoove you, it would be in your best interest to make an appointment with your guidance counselor, even if you go in and say, you know what, I know I need to be talking to you, but I don't even know what I'm supposed to be talking to you about. They will take the lead and kind of guide and direct you, because that is our job. Students are the primary reason we're in the high school. Okay? That's why I put that. It will last you for 4 years. One book. Matter of fact, let me just show you something about this book. I had 4 conditions when I wrote this book. One is that it be colorful, so that you would pick it up, students and parents, because we're attracted to color. Well, I think the publisher did a pretty good job with the color part. It had to be durable, because it's going to last 4 years, and I think it's pretty durable. And it had to fit in a backpack. You had to make it the size that you could stick it in your backpack and it could follow you wherever you go. My biology project by the front door, so I'll be sure to remember it on Thursday. And Jeremy has a biology project due Thursday. Now listen what he said. Mom says, okay. So, Sunday, she's tripping over it. Monday, she's stepping over it. Tuesday, she's vacuuming under it. Wednesday, she's crawling across it. Thursday, the project is due. Jeremy calls Mom and says, Mom, I forgot my biology project. And says, can you bring it to school right away? How many of you have ever done that to your parents? You do your homework, you put it away in a safe place, and then you still forget it. And you have to call Mom to bring it to school to you. That's disorganization. But there's a section in the book, there's a section of SuccessAbility that helps you become more organized. And it says, at one time or another, every parent has a student just like Jeremy, and it's okay. We're not perfect, but we try to learn, and we try to improve. Parents, students and parents, get ready for one of the most exciting journeys of your life. Now, I'm talking about the book too, of course, but I'm talking about the high school journey. We know that once students enter high school, parents sometimes feel, got them this far, they need to be independent, so I'm going to step back just a little bit and let them make a few mistakes, and I'm going to help them along, but the major part of my responsibility is it's not over, but I can relax a little bit. Is that right or wrong thinking? Wrong. I work in a high school and I see more than I care to see a lot of times. So just suffice it to say, parents, once your students get into high school, you may even need to tighten the reins more. Can a parent tell me why I said that? How many parents of high school students do I have in the room? Okay, you know what I'm talking about. We are in competition with technology. Our children know how to take those cell phones and do things with them that they can have a whole secret life and you never know about it. You just never know it until somebody told you or you happened upon the information. That's very scary. It's very scary. So, like Clifton, that's another reason why it's very important to capitalize on the time that you have while they're